So, the first thing you're going to know about starting equations or solving equations is as follows. We're going to first have to get the variable by itself. Tanner, shut your Chromebook. You don't need it open. Come on. Shut your Chromebook. Okay? So the first thing you got to know about solving equations is that you have to get the variable all by itself. In order to do that, you do the reverse PEMDAS, right? Or I always say you start farthest away from the variable and you work towards it. Today, all we're going to be doing is called a one-step equation. Tomorrow we'll do multi-step equations, but as of today, we're going to be doing one-step equations. So for example, if I have a problem like this, x minus 22 equals 54. Dre, how would I solve that? Good. So everyone look at this with me. Because x is subtracted, if 22 is subtracted from x, we're going to do the opposite, which is add. So we're going to add 22 to both sides, and we get our solution, which is 76. Alright? So once again, if I have something like this, if I have 113 equals g minus 25. Corbin, how would I solve that? So yeah, it doesn't matter which side the variable is on, as long as the goal is to get the variable alone. By doing that and doing that, we get the variable alone, which gives us 138. G equals 138. Okay? Any questions so far? Pretty easy, right? These are called one-step equations because we're only moving one number. What about if I had this? Hold on, let's call on people here. Mason, what would I do? We wouldn't want to do that because m's over here. We want to get rid of what's on the same side as m. So how would I get rid of the 79? Perfect. Okay, and this is a mistake that a lot of people make. Is because we're so used to moving left to right that when the variable is on the right, sometimes we still move left to right. The issue is then we have a 0 over here, right? I think that's actually, yeah, that's right. And it gives us the wrong end because then we have to move back over, and it's just kind of a mess. So, we get rid of the stuff that's next to the variable. One more. Let's say we had 27 plus k equals 30. Tanner, how do I do it? Well, that's Tanner. Yep, that's it. Go ahead. Tanner, how would I do it? Minus 27 to both sides. K equals 3. K. That's that's adding and subtracting equations. That's pretty dang easy, right? That's something you guys should be able to do. You've been doing this in 6th grade or something like that. The harder thing that happens is when we have, so I'm just going to do a couple of these. So if we have 3x equals 6, how do I solve for x there? Daxton, do you know? If 3 is being multiplied to x, how do I get x alone? Phone a friend. Phone Kellen if you don't know. Say Kellen. How do I do it, Kellen? You divide. Okay, why would I divide? Good. So we're going to divide 3 to both sides because 3 is being times with x. We have to do the opposite of it, which is divide. So we're going to divide 3 to both sides and we get x equals 2. What about if I have this? Braxton, how do I do this one? Good. So same kind of thing. We're going to divide by -3, which gives us -13 equals r, right? Pretty easy, correct? These are one-step equations. The hard thing happens is when we do this. 3/5 x equals 6. Who wants to tell me how to do it? Mallory. Good. Why? It's the rule, right? Okay. Anytime you have a fraction like this multiplied with x. So basically what you're saying is we need to divide both sides by 3/5, right? But in order to divide by 3/5, what we do is we actually times by the, what is this word called? The reciprocal. We're going to times both sides by the reciprocal. By doing that on this side right here, it cancels this out, and we're just left with x equals 30 over 3, or 10. Alright, so another one. Let's say we had 2/3 y equals 18. So, Dre, what am I going to times both sides by? Should have been paying attention, Dre. What do we times both sides by, Gavin? The reciprocal, which is what, Gavin? So we're going to times both sides by the reciprocal, Dre, which is 3/2. That's going to cancel out here. We're going to be left with y equals 18 times 3/2, which in turn gives us 27, right? Because this can go to 1 and 9, which equals y equals 27. Okay? Alright, you guys are going to try one on your own. You guys can just, if you want to, try to do it in your head. If you can't, so be it. 2/3 x equals 6. If you need paper, get paper. Okay. Griffin, what do I do to both sides? By 2/3, which means we're going to multiply and times by what? No, I just better told Dre no to that.
3/2.
We're going to times by the reciprocal, which is 3 over 2. So that means we're going to times this side by 3 over 2, which is going to give us 9. 6 times 3 is 18, divided by 2 is 9. Okay. Any questions for me on this? This is called solving one-step equations. That may be one of the easier lessons we've done all year. But that's it. You're up. Homework. That's it. Easy today.